Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. I hope you are having a great day. Today's story includes grief, trauma, adoption, entitled sister-in-law, and problems between sisters. Am I the idiot for screaming at my sister-in-law and kicking her out of my house? My husband, 36, male, and I, 34, female, have been foster parents for the past 6 years. We usually only had short-term placements, around 4 to 8 months or so. Then 2 years ago, we had Caden placed with us. He was 4 at the time. It was supposed to be another short-term placement, but then things changed, and it became clear he was going to be with us for a while. After a year, we were told his plan was likely changing to adoption. We decided we would if that happened. Eventually, we were told we were going to be able to. My brother's wife, Denise, 40, female, was adopted at birth and originally was a great resource for us. We've always done our research to be trauma-informed and best help any child in our care. Things were fine until we shared we were going to adopt Caden. Denise said that we were stealing a child from his family, and we should fight to keep him with his family, despite no families stepping up. Well, in the end, a relative did step up and applied for kinship. They received custody of Caden, and will likely adopt them. It is truly the best thing for Caden to stay in the family, but it doesn't mean that it isn't extremely hard on everyone involved. We raised him for 2 years, love him, soothed every nightmare, fever, etc. We built a bond. It was also hard to explain to him why it went from, "We're adopting you," to, "You're going to live with someone else." Caden was reunited with the family member in January, after only a 1 week's notice. The family has also decided we shouldn't see Caden. It's their right and we understand, but we've been essentially cut off from his life and will never see him again. It's hard. My husband and I have gone through a grieving period. We decided to take a break from fostering. We recognize this was the best thing, but it doesn't make it any easier. Most of our family has been pretty understanding and supportive as we work through our grieving. Everyone except Denise. She keeps saying what a wonderful thing this is, and we need to stop being sad that it's not about us. On Saturday, she and my brother came over. We were having a decent day until I came across a picture of Caden on my phone. I got a little teary and had to leave the room for a moment. Later I returned and apologized. Then Denise got snippy and said, "You need to cut this out. He wasn't your child, this is what's best for him. If you truly loved him, you'd be over this by now." Oh my God, yes, he was. For the last 2 years he was their child. I was still kind of upset and mixed with everything I was going through. I screamed at her that she was an insensitive little witch, and she only looks through things from her perspective. I said I understand she resents her adoptive parents, but that doesn't mean we were wrong for wanting to adopt Caden. She tried arguing with me, but I threw her out of my house. She left in a huff. My brother has since called and said he understands that Denise is candid, but I was wrong to scream at her and I could have handled it better. Am I the idiot? OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the a-hole. 1. Screaming at Denise and kicking her out of my house. 2. I could have handled my anger better and spoken to her calmly, instead of screaming. OP also give us more info in the comments. Social workers did try to find kinship early on, but it didn't plan out. This relative initially declined taking custody of Caden when he entered the system. Then when it became clear that he wasn't being reunited with his bio parents, they had a change of heart. This relative truly will be good to him, I believe that. When they changed their mind? At what point? I don't have all the answers, as we weren't kept in the loop. Caden was still having visits with his biological father and this is his relative. If I had to guess, Caden's dad mentioned we were adopting him and this relative decided to stop that, so he could remain in the family. We were only told with a week's notice, in January. We started the adoption process in November, so somewhere in between. I do worry for this boy, that this person took so long to step up, then shuts the door on the people who have cared for him for so long. I hope he ends up okay. I think he'll be okay. He was excited to return to family and I know they'll be good to him. I'm sure he'll have his own grieving period, but he'll do okay. OP also share. We have been in therapy since becoming foster parents, because of course there's a grieving process, even for the kids that were only with us for 4 months. You get attached, you're supposed to, it's in the game. This is just a much different beast, because it was so long, and we were told he'd be around forever. We are well aware this is how it goes, and we always root for our foster children to end up back with family, if it's safe. This wasn't our first placement. We've had several prior, and will likely have many more in the future. This was just our longest stretch, and it wasn't a typical case. And about the sister-in-law. Did she know anything about his background before unilaterally saying the family would be better? Denise knows some of his history, but not all, as that's not our story to share. She knows what Caden told her on his own, but not the whole story. The relative he was placed with is a lovely person who will take care of him and nurture him. They're a good person. So, she's not wrong that this is for the best. But you're right, there are times when family isn't. Makes you wonder if her adopted family was actually bad, or if she just hated them for not being her real family. Her adoptive parents were terrible. Please don't spread this. Denise was abused and lied to for much of her life by her adoptive family. I appreciate the support, but most adoptees do go through trauma. Let's not undermine that. I'm trying to see it from the sister-in-law's point of view, I really am, but I can't help but think she's an insensitive idiot. Because even if it ends up being better for Caden to stay with his biological family, it doesn't mean that everyone involved in this situation, OP and her husband, Caden himself, even the rest of their family, aren't feeling grief and sadness for the loss of each other. OP and her husband lost a son, they were raising Caden for 2 years and were going to adopt him, and now they can't even see him. And Caden lost these 2 people who cared about him deeply, were going to be his parents, and an entire family and a future with them. It doesn't mean that his life won't be good with his bio family, but it's still a loss for everyone. And OP's sister-in-law is acting like it's nothing, like everyone can just turn off their emotions and suddenly stop caring about someone. Well, I'm sorry Ice Queen, but most humans aren't like that. Look, I understand that her adoptive family is horrible, to say the least. But not all adoptive parents are like this, and staying with the biological family is not always the best solution for the child. Also, she knows OP and her husband, she knows how they care about Caden and wanted to be good parents to him. I think that her reaction, of thinking that the best thing for the kid is to stay with the bio family, has a lot to do with her abandonment issues, in addition to the neglect of her adoptive parents. But still, this is no reason to act like an insensitive witch to OP, not the idiot. And what do you guys think of this situation? What would you do if you were OP? Now let's read what the comments have to say. As a former CPS worker, I am upset that the kinship relationship wasn't developed quicker. 2 years and a possible adoption was too long to put the child and OP through. And this stuff about family always being better, well, some families have generational trauma that affects their ability to function to raise healthy children. Not the idiot. My brother has since called and said he understands that Denise is candid. Candid? Is that what we're calling a-holes these days? Quick, someone create an Am I Candid? Not the idiot. This was heartbreaking to read. My condolences, and may there be brighter days in your future. Not the idiot, you were just being candid, lol. If it's any comfort, remind yourself you were there for that little boy when he needed you, and gave him all the love you could. Not the idiot, you are perfectly capable of being glad that Caden is with his birth family, and will have a permanent home, while also grieving the loss of someone you cared for, loved dearly and was part of your family. Not the idiot. To start, You and your husband are wonderful people for fostering and being ready to adopt. Good on you for having the emotional awareness to grieve and take a needed break. Point blank period, your sister-in-law has no compassion. Sorry for whatever emotion she dealt with being adopted, but that does not give her any right to try to invalidate your feelings. And your feelings are completely valid. She was cruel, you did not deserve that, there is no timeline for you to miss this child ever. I hope you can see all the good you did for Caden, know that your love made a difference during this time period. Bless your family, now and in the future. And what about you guys? Do you agree with the comments? And what would you say to OP's sister-in-law? Do you think OP was too harsh on her? Or was she not harsh enough? Don't forget to leave your comments below. Oh, are you enjoying the video so far? If so, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notifications to know when a new video is out. This really helps the channel, so I appreciate it. Now let's go to the next story. Am I the idiot for not buying my sister what was on her registry? I, 29, female, have a sister, 26, female. She's pregnant and recently had a baby shower. She had a registry of things she needed. I didn't buy anything off of that though. I had ordered custom-made onesies with my niece's name on it, and a changing pad. I don't have much money. I have a geriatric dog who cost a lot. I thought the gift I gave was cute and meaningful, and that she'd also be getting a lot of other gifts. After the baby shower, my sister pulled me aside and asked why I didn't pick anything out of her registry. I had said I saw those and thought they were cute and the registry is just a suggestion. My sister got annoyed and said the registry is stuff they actually need, and that I gave her useless things, then walked away. I guess she talked to my mom, because my mom also said to me, I should have just picked something from there, because I know how my sister is and it would have helped her out. I'm now upset, because I was excited about my gift and wasn't aware that the registry was so important. OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the a-hole. I didn't buy my sister gifts from her registry, instead something else. She got upset and said I should have just picked from there, because now I've given her a useless gift. Maybe I am the idiot, because she did have a registry for people to view. I may be going in a different direction than most people, but I think OP was kind of the idiot here. Not completely, but kind of. I mean, I don't doubt that the onesies must be cute and that it was a very thoughtful gift, but normally parents to be put in their gift lists things they really will need. A lot of baby stuff is expensive, so they use these events to get some items. So, I understand OP's sister's frustration. But I would also like to know what kind of things she had registered on the list, or rather what the price range of the gifts was. Because yes, baby things are expensive, and the guests want to help the parents, but if the sister was going overboard with what she was asking for, OP had every right to find another alternative that was more financially accessible to her. It would have been better if she had spoken to her sister beforehand, letting her know that she was going to give a gift that was not registered, or asking her sister if there was anything that OP could buy that was not on the list, and that was in OP's price range. So I understand OP's reasoning, but I also understand her sister's disappointment. So in the end, I don't think OP was an idiot for the decision she made. And what do you think about that? Let's read what the comments say. Not the idiot. Registry is just a suggestion. Gifts are supposed to be given freely and accepted graciously. She's acting entitled. Everyone sucks here. As someone who received 3 vacuum cleaners at my bridal shower because people didn't bother to look at the registry, I also hate when people go off on their own. Showers are for people to get what they need, not what someone else thinks they should want. Your sis is also an a-hole because of how she handled it. The correct response to a gift is thank you, not this is useless. Everyone sucks here. You meant well, had the best of intentions, but fell for the classic trap of buying baby stuff, that is for show, not practicality. This definitely doesn't make you a bad person and I struggled with the judgment here. Your sister was ungracious and a bit snotty sounding. Everyone sucks here. Your sister was really rude to you. You decided to get cute stuff instead of actual helpful things from their registry. Not the idiot, you're not the a-hole, it does sound cute. If you're broke and so is your sister, it seems pretty shitty of her to expect you to fork out. My sister would never lose her shit about that kind of thing. Sometimes doing what someone else wants is easy, but should someone like your sister get everything they want all the time, just because they kick up a massive stink if they don't get it? Isn't that just reinforcing shitty behavior? People shouldn't expect more from other people than they can afford, you shouldn't go into debt for anyone. And what would you have done if you were OP? Do you think she should have spoken to her sister beforehand? Or do you think her sister is overreacting? Don't forget to leave your comments down below. And that's it for today, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time.